Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. This is your reaction to Ralf Rangnick's press conference ahead of Manchester United's game against Leeds. So as I usually do, I'm going to give you all the questions Rangnick was asked and I'm going to give you his responses to them questions. So let's delve into it. So this was the first question that was asked to Rangnick. Good afternoon, Ralf. Would you able to start off by giving us a team news and injury update, please? Rangnick's response was, well, as it seems, Edison Cavani will still be out. He's still having some problems with his groin. And on the other hand, also some with his stomach. The same is true with Tommy, and apart from that, everybody else seems to be available. So that was Rangnick's response to that question. This was the second question. You're playing Leeds, and a lot is always made of the style and energy and tempo that they play with. Particularly the last couple of seasons, how do you see the style you've tried to impose since coming in at United going up against them? So Rangnick's response was, well, they are playing in a very special way in two aspects. On the one hand side, they are trying to play very fast transitional football when they're in possession. Give and go all the time when they pass the ball to another player. They are trying to increase the tempo of the game. That's one thing. The other thing is they are very man-to-man orientated. This is probably a team that plays with the highest amount of momentum and speed and tempo. For us, it's important not to allow them to play like that. On the other hand, they have conceded quite a few goals. Apart from Norwich, they are the team with the highest amount of conceded goals. I think we know we are well prepared for that game, and we will try to prepare the team to play for 94 minutes and stick to the game plan. So that was Rangnick's response to that question. So this was the next question. This is regarding Cristiano Ronaldo and Harry Maguire, about the captaincy. So it says, hi Ralf, I'm sure you're aware of speculation about the captaincy between yourself, Cristiano Ronaldo and Harry Maguire. Could you put us in the picture over whether those conversations have happened and is there going to be a change? So Rangnick's response was, well, to start with, I must say that this is absolutely nonsense. I have never spoken with any player about a possible change of captaincy, and Harry is fully aware of that, and so is Cristiano and all of the other players. So this has never been an issue for me. It is me who decides the captain, and therefore there is no reason to speak about that with any other person. Harry is our captain and will stay our captain until the end of the season, and there is nothing else to add on to that. So that was Rangnick's response to that question. This was the next question. Obviously, you've got a very important Champions League game in midweek, but because of the situation in the league table and the race for the top four, does this game on Sunday and the following game against Watford, do they become more important in your mind than that game in the Champions League? So Rangnick's response to that question was, no, we play one after the other. Of course, we are fully aware that the game at Leeds is important for us in order to stay where we are right now in the table. We have to win that game, and then 3 days later we have an important one at Atletico Madrid. We are in a competition where we would also like to proceed into the next round. Then again, 3 days later we have another important one at home against Watford. We are taking one by the other, and therefore I'm grateful that we have more players back again available. Nemanja Matic was back in training today for the first time and he did quite well, so he might be available, maybe even for Sunday against Leeds, but definitely in the next 2 games, and then we will have to see. We will take it one by one. We will try to start each of those 3 games with a starting 11 where we are convinced that we can win the next possible game. So that was Rangnick's response to that question. So this was the next question. This is regarding Harry Maguire and Marcus Rashford. So it says, Harry Maguire took to social media today to talk about the reports of division in the dressing room. Marcus Rashford earlier on in the week, how frustrated are you by this constant narrative, and is the only way to answer it by giving constant results on the pitch? So this was Rangnick's response. This is a long response. Well, I'm not frustrated at all because I know that it's not the truth. I told you already about Harry being captain. This is not an issue at all, and it's never been an issue for us for myself as the manager. All the other things, to be honest, I don't listen to that noise that much because my full focus is on preparing the next training and for the next game. Obviously, I have heard about what is written. I can only tell you from my personal experience. In the last 11-12 weeks, yes, there were players unhappy until closure of the window because, as I always said, the squad was too big. We had too many players who just realised that they wouldn't get game time. I think this has improved for sure, and from what I can tell you, the atmosphere in the locker room is better than it used to be a couple of weeks ago. For that reasons we just spoke about, and well, all the other things, as you quite rightly said, for us, it's about performing well, showing togetherness on the pitch, getting the best out of our performance and winning games. This is our job. Those are the things we can influence. All the other things we have no influence upon. So yeah, that was Rangnick's response to that question. This is towards the end of the press conference, so this question says, hello Ralf, you said you and your players are prepared. Are they prepared for the occasion and the atmosphere and the animosity at Leeds? Which rivalries can you draw from in your own experiences in football? So Rangnick's response was, well, to be honest, I didn't know that until a week ago, but most of my colleagues have already indicated that this is probably one of the biggest rivalries in the Premier League. Of course, I also had quite a few of those. We call them local derbies in Germany, with Schalke versus Borussia Dortmund, just to give you one example, and quite a few others. Like that, in the atmosphere that it can also and will hopefully rise our performance and our level of performance to play in this environment last season. I think they played Leeds behind closed doors because of COVID restrictions, and as far as I know, it's the first game in a full stadium since they last played in the Premier League. I don't know, this is probably 15 to 20 years ago, but yes, it's great. I think everybody prefers to play in a solid out stadium rather than in an empty stadium, and therefore, yeah, it's good. We are very much looking forward to that game. So that was Rangnick's response to that one, and this was the final question. Continuing the theme on the atmosphere, we've spoken about the mentality in the weeks gone by. That's mainly to do with the fact that they can't perform over 90 minutes. How key is it to be raring to go from the start? So Rangnick's final response was, very important against Brighton. We were struggling in the first half. We just didn't get hold of the ball to win the ball. We also have to admit that Brighton did extremely well. They are probably one of the best three teams in possession of the ball in the whole league. This only changed in the second half when we took more of a risk, pressing them higher, trying to just win balls in their half, and this will be a similar game against Leeds United. Although they have a different approach, they are playing a different style of football. For us, it's important to be on the front foot, but more proactive, similar to what we did against Brighton in the second half. But again, it will be a different game, and so will be the next game on Wednesday against Atletico, and then against Watford, and we have to take one game after the other, prepare the team in the best possible way so that we are able to win, if possible, all three games. So that was Rangnick's response to that question. So that was absolutely everything that was mentioned in the press conference. I am expecting Manchester United to beat Leeds. You know, Manchester United are coming into this game on the back of a 2-0 win against Brighton. The goals against Brighton came from Cristiano Ronaldo. You know, Cristiano Ronaldo scored an amazing goal. Reflecting on that, that ended his goal drought, and it was his first goal of 2022. Ronaldo should have had more than one goal against Brighton because he had some good headed chances, but his overall performance against Brighton was very good. As you all know, reports have said recently that Ronaldo's set to become the new Man United captain to replace Maguire, but obviously that's not going to happen now. Rangnick's just confirmed that in his press conference that Maguire is going to remain captain till the end of the season. Man United's second goal against Brighton came from Bruno Fernandes. That goal came in the 97th minute of stoppage time. The last time Manchester United lost to Leeds was in the FA Cup third round back in January 2010. Leeds won 1-0. It was a goal from Jermaine Beckford. This fixture at Ellen Road last season was 0-0. In that game, Calvin Phillips had Bruno Fernandes in his pocket. The game on Sunday at Ellen Road, though, will be totally different to the one at Ellen Road last season because there's going to be fans at the game on Sunday. Obviously, there was no fans between Leeds and Man United at Ellen Road last season. Man United beat Leeds 5-1 at Old Trafford on the opening day of this season. And Man United beat Leeds 6-2 at Old Trafford last season. We beat Leeds 4-0 in Australia in pre-season in the summer of 2019. And Man United beat Leeds 3-0 in the League Cup back in 2011. Leeds have been poor this season. Leeds are 15th in the Premier League at the moment. Leeds recently lost to Everton 3-0. But last season, Leeds played very well. Last season, they finished 9th. The season before last, Leeds won the Championship. That was their first trophy in 28 years. Revert back to 2004, Leeds got relegated. You know, Leeds were out of the top flight for 16 years. Marcelo Bielsa is the Leeds manager. To be honest with you, even though I am a Man United fan, I've got a lot of respect for Marcelo Bielsa. You know, I do think he is a good coach. He has managed a lot of clubs in his managerial career. A lot of years ago he managed in Argentina. Well, Marcelo Bielsa is from Argentina. Bielsa has been the Leeds manager now for quite a few years. Last year Bielsa signed a 1-year contract. Don't forget, he only signs 1-year deals. A lot of years ago as well, like I've already mentioned, Marcelo Bielsa worked with Pep Guardiola, and Bielsa taught Pep Guardiola. Obviously, Pep Guardiola's been following Marcelo Bielsa's philosophy at Man City. Guardiola is good, because of Bielsa. Now, I do know a lot of the players that Leeds have got, like I mentioned on the preview. Leeds have Rodrigo. Rodrigo has been a very poor signing for Leeds. He's done nowhere near as well as a lot of Leeds fans expected. Leeds got Rodrigo from Valencia. Diego Llorente, he's a very good centre-half for Leeds. Rafinha, he's a very good player. Rafinha, though, has been out of form recently, but I think Rafinha is convinced that he can regain his form. Patrick Bamford, he's good, clinical, scores a lot of goals for Leeds. Bamford's out with injury at the moment. Leeds got Bamford for Middlesbrough. Joe Gelhardt, he's a good striker. He's only young. Leeds got him from Wigan. Junior Firpo, I think he's been very poor for Leeds, but there again, Firpo's had a few injuries at Leeds. He's out with injury at the moment. Leeds got Junior Firpo from Barcelona. They have Sam Greenwood. He's an under-23s player. Leeds got Sam Greenwood from Arsenal. I've seen him play in the Leeds first team. Daniel James, he's done well since he's gone to Leeds. Obviously, Leeds got Daniel James from us last year. The reason we offloaded Daniel James is because, he did lose his place in the team. If Daniel James plays on Sunday, he'll be reuniting with Manchester United. Calvin Phillips, he's a very good midfielder. Calvin Phillips is out with injury at the moment. My club, Man United, want him, and Arsenal and Liverpool have recently entered the race. I think Leeds value Calvin Phillips at around 60 million. Calvin Phillips has already made it clear, though, that he'll be staying at Leeds. He loves Leeds, doesn't he? He's out with injury, by the way, at the moment, so I don't think he'll be playing on Sunday. Liam Cooper, Leeds have him. Don't rate him, to be honest with you. His crossing's got to definitely improve, and there's other aspects of his game that I've got to improve. Liam Cooper is out with injury as well at the moment. They have Matthias Klick, don't really rate him. Jack Harrison, he's done well at Leeds, to be fair. Leeds got Jack Harrison from Man City. At one point, Jack Harrison was on loan at Leeds for 3 seasons. Robin Koch, I think he'll be in contention to play in this game, obviously with, Phillips and Cooper and that being injured. They have Somerville as well. Somerville is a winner. Don't really know much about him though. Stuart Dallas is very good. Stuart Dallas is versatile. He can play in various positions, but I think he's predominantly a right back. Stuart Dallas has recently been out with injury. Tyler Roberts, he's a young player for Leeds. Don't really rate him, to be honest with you. Adam Forshaw. At one point, he was out with injury for a while. Luke Ayling, very good defender. Jamie Shackleton have got him. And the Leeds goalkeeper is Melee. Well, Leeds his first choice goalkeeper. Let me put into the equation that Leeds lost Alioski. That was a bad blow for Leeds. Alioski went to Saudi Arabia from Leeds. So there you go. Ralf Rangnick, he's been Manchester United's interim manager for almost 3 months now. He's Manchester United's interim manager until the end of the season. Then it did initially say that he's expected to take up a consultancy role for a further 2 years. It recently said that Rangnick wants the permanent Man United job. I'm very sceptical that he'll get the Man United job on a permanent basis. So far, Rangnick has managed, 14 games in all competitions as Man United's interim manager. He's lost 2 games in all competitions. He's only lost 1 game in the Premier League. There's been good performances under Rangnick. There's also been poor performances as well. But I think Rangnick's been totally blameless for them poor performances. You know, the players have had to take responsibility for those poor performances. Rangnick has enjoyed 1 transfer window as Manchester United's interim manager. Unfortunately, Rangnick did not get backed in the January transfer window, and he actually got promised he was going to get backed. You know, Man United enjoyed a very disappointing January transfer window because Man United did not make any signings last month. Man United wanted to sign a midfielder because when Rangnick first came in, he identified Manchester United's midfield as a weakness. We should have let Lingard and Henderson leave last month, but we blocked their exits, and we had the incident with Mason Greenwood towards the end of last month. But around 8 players left Manchester United last month. Before Man United, Rangnick was the head of sports and development at Lokomotiv Moscow. Rangnick's tried a few different formations since he becoming the interim manager at Man United. You know, obviously started off with the 4-2-2 formation. Then obviously he went with the 4-3-3 formation, and he's gone with a 4-2-3-1 formation a few times. And it recently said now that Man United players want Ralf Rangnick to change formation again. As you all know, Ralf Rangnick and Richard Arnold want Erik ten Hag to become the club's next manager. I think Man United's next permanent manager will either be Erik ten Hag or Mauricio Pochettino. You know, Man United are looking for the 5th permanent manager since Ferguson retired. We've sacked 4 permanent managers since Ferguson retired. We sacked David Moyes after 10 months. Then we sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years. We did win the FA Cup under him. Then Man United sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years, despite Mourinho winning 3 trophies in his first season. And last year, Manchester United sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer after almost 3 years in charge. Man United's only chance of a trophy this season is the Champions League, and I'm very sceptical we'll win the Champions League, so it's going to be another trophyless season for Man United. Man United have not won a trophy since 2017, that's 5 years ago now. That's nowhere near good enough to our standards. We've not won the Premier League since 2013. In the summer, though, I'm expecting Manchester United to make some signings, but on the other side of things, I'm expecting a lot of players to depart the club in the summer. So the players who I think will leave in the summer, I think Cavani will leave. Well, it said not so long ago that Edison Cavani is expected to leave as a free agent in the summer. Cavani prefers a move to La Liga. Earlier on this season, Rangnick revealed that Edison Cavani wanted to stay at Man United till the end of the season. Cavani's out of contract at Man United in the summer. Man United got Cavani on a free transfer from PSG back in the summer of 2020. Like I said, Cavani's not available at the moment because he's out with injuries. Endured a few injuries since he signed for the club. Good chance Ronaldo will leave Man United in the summer as well. Mata will leave as well in the summer. I think Lingard will leave. Matic will leave. Pogba may leave because it recently said that Pogba is open to Premier League offers if he leaves Manchester United this summer. Pogba's out of contract at Man United in the summer. Jones and Bailly, they'll also leave in the summer. Tellez and Delors could possibly leave in the summer. Harry Maguire, I think he could leave as well in the summer, and Wan-Bissaka. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you with. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do. Consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.